Welcome to what I like to call AI Tag Team, where I will be playing as one country for 6 months of the year, and then I will be playing as another country the other 6 months of the year, constantly switching back and forth every 6 months, and teaming up with the AI to lead both nations to glory. In this video, I will be playing as Bulgaria between the months of January and June, and then Yugoslavia from the months July through December. So, let's get to it. Playing as Bulgaria, I'm going to have to keep a close eye on Yugoslavia because they can actually get a focus which gives them a claim on all Bulgarian states, and I do not want them to have that focus. Alright, we are closing in on the end of January, which means we're about to switch over to Yugoslavia for the first time. And so let's go ahead and do that. Ugh, look at that army organization. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Italy is already claiming my territory, and I hope to God that if they attack, I'm the one controlling Yugoslavia at the time, because if not, well, this could be bad. And back over to the Bulgarians. And more shitty army organization. Really, all I can do these first few years is try my best to get as much of the stuff that I need done to make sure that the AI doesn't screw up and put me in a position where I will have no chance of winning in the future. I managed to perfectly time being able to choose the non-conquer Bulgaria focus as Yugoslavia. It's not going to finish before I switch back over, but as long as it's going, the AI can't make the wrong decision. And just in case Italy invades Yugoslavia, as Bulgaria, I've been rushing the focus to be able to send as many volunteers as you can, just hoping that I'll be able to have some impact on the war if I'm not playing as Yugoslavia. Poland got attacked by Germany and joined the Allies, who are now all at war with Germany and Italy. And now Romania has actually joined the Allies as well, so we're pretty much surrounded at this point by the Axis and the Allies. And I think we're going to have to make a decision here. It was actually a pretty easy decision. The Axis aren't doing too great in the war, and Italy owns my core, so I'm going to war with the Axis. Finland joined Allies, Estonia joined Allies, Afghanistan, Latvia. What the hell is going on? Holy shit. I think we might have a three-way war going on here. At some point, the Soviets ended up attacking both the Allies and Comintern, and now they're asking me to join the Comintern. I'm not going to do that. I want to join the Allies, so I will go ahead and do that instead. Just look at this clusterfuck. Down south, we're taking over Greece and Albania from the Italians, and by taking over, I do mean taking over. This is in no way, shape, or form a liberation, because all the land is going directly to us, and not back to the Greeks. Just to make things even crazier, Spain has now joined the Comintern, which means they're now at war with both the Axis and the Allies. I'm assuming they're going to invade France, and this whole war is getting a bit out of hand, I would say. Here's the map for what has become a three-way fuckfest. What makes this so interesting is that it goes Comintern, Allies, Axis, Allies, Comintern, Axis. So everyone's fighting each other in multiple different places. It's January again, which means I've switched back over to Bulgaria, and I need to get them into this war on the Allied side as soon as possible, because God knows Yugoslavia is not going to survive for long on its own. Luckily, though, I can actually justify a war goal against Italy right now. The Soviets are already bordering me, though, so I might have to actually just go over and fight them, because as soon as I join the war, I'll probably get invaded by the Soviets. So Poland ended up surrendering, which is actually a good thing for the Allies, because now that means Germany will be forced to fight the Soviet Union head-on, and they'll be able to wear each other down instead of having us do it. Alright, I've been wasting enough time, though. Let's get the war with Italy started, and everyone else for that matter. And I'm going to do something a bit crazy here. I'm going to split my army in two, and go fight on two different fronts at once. But I mean, I'm sure that's never worked out poorly for anyone in history before, right? Well, it turns out the Romanians have actually beaten back the Soviets a little bit, so I don't even need to fight a two-front war anymore. We're all going over west. Alright, the UK finally let me in the Allies, and I'm going to change my mind again, and I have decided that I am in fact going to fight a two-front war. You know, I don't understand the Germans. They're doing a massive spearhead attack into Yugoslavia, whilst they're getting absolutely destroyed by the Soviets up in Germany. I mean, you would think they would prioritize their own front more than some foreign country that's actually not even really that important in the whole grand scheme of the war. But, yeah, I don't know, and they forced me to bring back my army and combine them again, so they ruined my fun with the whole two-front war thing. Well, eventually the Germans did withdraw a lot of their troops and allowed us to counterattack and reclaim a bunch of lost land. Really no help from the Yugoslavians either. Their whole army is pretty much nowhere to be found. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Oh, well, why would you kick me? What's the point of that? I didn't even do anything. God damn it. Back in control of the Yugoslavians, and I find most of their army to be over in Romania defending them instead of defending their own home country. So we gotta fix that. Oh, okay. Reinvite them when they're back in control of the AI. I see how it is. These AI, they're conspiring against me. They know I'm the human player. And they want to take me down. I swear. I really admire the Germans here. They are nothing but a small, thin-ass line at this point. That's all that's left of their country. And they still haven't surrendered. And the Soviets have made contact with the Allies in another place besides Romania, so the war can escalate between them as well. Japan has also made pretty good gains over in Asia. I'm guessing because the Soviets are a little bit occupied. Well, Germany has finally fallen. And I think our objective should be to bring this from a three-way war down to a two-way war, at least in Europe, by eliminating the Italians next. Oh god, Hungary, why would you do this? Why would you do this to yourself? Oh dear. I better not have to bring an army back to defend that border either. So I'm making good gains over here in Italy. Alright, it appears the Hungarians have actually gone to war with the Soviets first. So I think we might be okay. I'm assuming the Soviets will just storm through and murder them in half a second. When I switched back over to Bulgaria, all the Yugoslavians began to leave Italy and go elsewhere again. So now it's going to be up to the Bulgarians to take Italy out of this war. I think we're up to the task, though. We've managed to connect with our Western allies, which will be super helpful. So now we can transfer troops and supplies through land instead of across the Mediterranean. And I think that'll help speed up the process of eliminating Italy, and Spain for that matter as well. I was unfortunately unable to finish off the Italians as Bulgaria, so I'm back with the Yugoslavians now. And the Hungarians are dead, and I am forced to defend my border from the Soviets. However, we do have two armies at least with the Yugoslavians, so I will try to eliminate the Italians once and for all. The British are closing in on the south, so I don't think they should last too much longer. We've managed to isolate Italy into only a few little pockets of resistance now, like Rome here, which has now fallen. So we'll be giving Mussolini a bit of good old-fashioned Slavic justice. And with that, Italy and the Axis are out of Europe for good. France seems to have Spain under control. They've pushed them back from where they were quite a bit. So I'm going to start sending my second army over to the east, and we'll focus mainly just on the Soviets. So it's turned into a slow but steady push of the Soviets back to where they came from. Currently, as Bulgaria, we are stuck a little bit in the mountains there, but over in the southeast, it's going a bit easier. Alright, it's July 1st. While playing as the Bulgarians, I thought of a brilliant idea. Since the Yugoslavian army is stronger, I should do a spearhead attack all the way up from southern Poland here and connect with Lithuania and basically cut off the entire Soviet army, which is trapped in this giant pocket in the rest of Poland and Czechoslovakia. Our spearhead attack has been going quite well. The Soviets are unable to answer with enough defense. They are just spread a bit too thin, I would think. My attack managed to work actually pretty dang well. We've already destroyed a lot of Soviet troops. These are the last holdouts here, kind of close to Prague. But once they're dead and we can get our full army in the east, well, this war is going to go pretty quickly. Yeah, the Soviet army was pretty much decimated over in Central Europe. And so with the full force of the Allied troops now on the Soviet border in the east, well, there's just not really much they can do to slow us down. Look, we're about to touch tips with the Japanese. You know, it's a real shame we're going to have to end up fighting them once the Soviet Union's dead. We've worked so well together. Heck, they've been a better partner than my AI tag team partner has been most of the time. And so the Soviet Union is dead, and everyone else has pretty much taken everything before Bulgaria got a turn. But Mongolia's still there, so I guess Bulgaria will be the new owner of Mongolia. In a surprising turn of events, the Soviet Union was actually allowed to live, albeit they were forced to join the Allies along with Spain. But like I said earlier, we now have to fight the Japanese, so we're not leaving. We're going to continue marching across the entirety of Russia. So I switch back to the Yugoslavians, and where do I find most of their army? Over here fighting in the Indian Civil War. It's like, hey guys, we got a whole army of Japanese to fight, and you're over here looking for curry. I just spent 6 useless months advancing slowly through the Soviet Union's Yugoslavia, and then a thought occurred to me. This is all pointless. So now I'm back as Bulgaria, and I realized we need to naval invade Japan if we actually want to end the war. So that's what I'm going to plan to do. Thanks to the power of the Royal Navy, we were allowed to establish a beachhead around Tokyo, and we advanced a little bit of the way, but the Japanese actually quickly surrounded us, so we need reinforcements to come from the other allies before we can advance any further. So this time playing as Bulgaria, I had the realization, but I'm not going to win just from one port. We're surrounded, we don't have enough supplies, so now back to Yugoslavia, I'm going to invade in 2 more locations to bring about a much swifter end to this war. So I'm back in January, which means I should be switching back to Bulgaria. However, the Bulgarian AI almost completely abandoned Japan, and so really it's just me as Yugoslavia and a few others here. So I will continue to play as Yugoslavia until the end of the game, so I can move on with my life and no longer be here. Fuck you, this is my video, I get to make the rules, and that means I get to change them at will as well. Well, would you look at that? The tag team coming together to split Japan in half between them. How beautiful. And so Japan has finally surrendered, bringing an end to the greatest clusterfuck of a war of all time. And now, it's time to reclaim our lost land. So I tried switching over to Bulgaria in the middle of the peace deal, which apparently is not a good thing, because the AI Yugoslavia then ended its turn and didn't take all the stuff that it could have taken. So I really didn't end up with a whole lot, though I do own most of the Balkans, and also Bulgaria still owns Mongolia. So I feel like I did pretty well, controlling 2 countries at once, essentially. You know, it was alright. If you liked this kind of format, let me know. I might do it again in the future. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.